So, I'm going to make this video about being an Aspie, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you don't look autistic, or you don't act autistic, or you just wanted to. I don't really know what people think, and I don't understand people, but I'm what you call high functioning, and I don't like the terms high functioning or low functioning because it's kind of dehumanizing to say that someone's low functioning. Because what are you basing functioning on? The status quo acceptance of how you assume people or presume people should behave. I have high functioning Asperger's, and it's hard to explain it, especially to older generations. I've noticed a lot of older generations, like 50 and above, and this is not me being mean, this is just me being observant. They don't comprehend that you cannot just get over it, that you cannot just deal with it. That's not how autism and Asperger's and sensory disorders work. It's not ADHD or bipolar where you can just suck it up as best you can, and even they can't suck it up. But this mindset, it's kind of like telling someone without a leg in a wheelchair, just get up and walk, you'll be fine. It's the same thing. I'm here at Hellmart, probably one of the most communist places you can shop at, in my opinion, but my political beliefs. And it's very hard to go in public, whether I'm presenting male or female, which is what other people perceive. I'm a hermaphrodite, so both would be a correct assumption, so I don't really care about pronouns. But it's very, very difficult to go into a public place, and I can sort of read people's body language and facial expressions, but I don't get hints and innuendos and attitudes, because to me they're inefficient behaviors. They're non-functional attitudes that don't make anything in society move smoother. I don't understand passive-aggressive statements, and people assume that I function and talk and believe like them. If I say something, I mean it. If I ask why, I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to know what you mean. It's not me being defiant, because if I'm defiant, I'll say fuck no. Or no, I'm not going to do it. And that's, I have that right to say no, and if you don't like it, good on you. But I ask why because I'm genuinely curious. I want to know what someone's talking about. I want to know what someone means. It's not that I'm not going to do it based on what you explain. I just want to know why, because I'm a very, very curious person. And we can get into curiosity as a sign of intelligence. Rebellion is a sign of intelligence, which they are. Defiance is a sign of an intelligent creature. But we can argue those scientific findings later at a different point if someone wants to. Put it in the comments, and if I get to it, I'll get to it. I don't really check comments because I just, just hope I can explain something to somebody and maybe help somebody somewhere. But my Asperger's, I was diagnosed around 14-ish. 12 to 14 are pretty much blacked out years in my life, and I don't remember them. I had a pretty rough childhood, and then when I went overseas with the contractor group, things got pretty rough then too. 4th of July is really difficult for me. But that said, stimming for me would be wearing gloves or wearing headphones or shades, because it's really not super bright, but shades help me cope. Shorts. I'm wearing shorts right now, and I don't like these because they don't come below the bottom of my knee. Like, not capris, but I mean like shorts that come here. Like if I'm sitting, they'll come here. But when I stand, I like my shorts to come just below my knees. It's a sensory thing. I wear certain jewelry. I don't wear jewelry most of the time because of safety issues, but I like bracelets. I like rings and stuff. They help me feel secure. I like facial piercings. They help me feel secure. And trying to explain this to someone who doesn't have sensory seeking issues is like trying to explain to your dog why the cat doesn't like the dog. They just don't get it. And that's about, to me, the intellectual capability levels of most people. It's trying to explain something they simply don't comprehend, and they don't have any desire to go and do research and learn for themselves. So they have their beliefs, and they are so concreted in their cognitive dissonance that they refuse to accept there's any other possible, exception to their reality, when reality is mostly your perception. Sad, but it's true. And, what you think and what you believe shapes most of your reality. But trying to explain that is a whole nother can of worms that people are just like... But that said, I'm an Aspie, and I don't understand why people don't want people with Asperger's around. I've been told by so many people. I've worked for some people, especially doing security. I've done a lot of jobs, from fast food to security to construction, and I've had over and over management to go, wow, you're efficient. Holy crap, you're detailed. Oh my God, you are focused. That's Asperger's. That is autism. Not all of us are the same. And just because 3 or 4 people with Asperger's or autism doesn't mean we all behave the same. That's like saying, oh, well, I know other white people and they behave that way. You see where I'm going with that? That is a really judgmental statement, and it's really ignorant. Saying, oh, well, I have black friends who don't behave that way. Okay, so you're assuming all people act the same based on one commonality. Just because I have autism, I'm high functioning, you expect me to behave and respond to stimuli the same way one of your friends or your kids or your nephews or your nieces or your brother's cousin's best friend or whatever freaking thing you want to say, you expect me to behave like them. I have 2 friends with higher functioning autism. We do not act the same. We do not perceive the same. We do not receive information the same. We do not intake or output information from stimuli the same way. And we both have Asperger's. One of them's autistic. I mean, little on the lower end, and I hate to say that, but he's a great guy, But my girlfriend understands it. Her brother is very autistic, and he works, but he's barely functional. He pretty much sits in a room and watches DVDs and plays PS4 all day if he's not at work. And that's how he copes. And when it comes to computers and cars, oh my God, he's smart. But we don't act the same. I don't have your typical female Asperger's, and I have almost none of the symptoms of male Asperger's. You cannot assume that someone is going to behave a certain way based on the demographic that you personally know and expect that to be a correct assumption. That to me is as stupid as saying, oh, well, I had a Ford Fiesta when they first came out and they were great cars, but I bought another one and it doesn't work, so I don't understand. They should all be great cars. No. Stop assuming all people are alike. And this is not political rhetoric. This is, everyone else there wants to talk about fixing the world and making it a better place, and we're political cause, and save the rainforest, and president's this. Here's an idea. Start at home. Start looking at each and every person as their own individual and a different person. Don't judge someone because you know someone that's similar to them. You know how many problems that causes? Seriously. That is the most failed and de-evolved, archaic mindset. It's ridiculous. And I've gotten to the point, I'm going to be 39 next month. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me. Not my friends, not my family, not anyone. Look, if I've explained repeatedly how my brain processes and the way I cope, and someone has a problem with that, 2 options. Talk to me, because, again, my frontal lobe works pretty well. I can listen and receive and, work with someone and bend and adapt and improvise and overcome, yada, yada. I can do all that. But you got to work with me too. Or, if you're not going to work with me and let me work with you, we don't need to talk. We don't need to be friends. We don't need to ever speak. Because I'm not going to put my mental health and my physical well-being in danger to accommodate someone who's not going to accommodate me. It's a two-way street in this world. If you want people to help you, you got to help them too. Little give, little take. But instead, everybody wants it their way. And they want it 25 minutes ago, yesterday, right now. And that shit don't happen. Never has, never will. It's crazy how many people have no clue the living hell spectrum people. I don't even know how to classify it. Aspies, neurotypical people have no idea what a day in our life is like. And I'm not going to speak for every person with Asperger's. I'm not going to presume to understand what other people on the spectrum perceive or feel or think or go through. Me personally, it is a living hell simply talking to a roommate because I'm worried they're mad at me. I can't read them. They're dropping hints and passive-aggressive innuendos, and I'm not getting it. And they think I'm ignoring them. And then I become frustrated because I'm not ignoring, I'm not picking up on it. And then they want to get mad at me, and it's all I can do not to tear them a new ass. Because I've explained, I don't get this. I'm very literal. I'm very black and white. And it's like, nah, you should be like the rest of us. I'm not. I can't be. You cannot make a fish start breathing air. It's not going to work. You're going to kill the fish. And when neurotypical people demand that people on the spectrum behave like them, they are literally killing those people. You're causing us so much internal turmoil and struggle and strife and mental discord, we are barely able to function in most cases. We don't sleep right. We don't eat right. Hell, we can barely talk at some point. I become nonverbal. I get to the point where I will not make eye contact. I get to the point where my movements are slow, methodical, and very machine-like because I'm forcing myself to interact because God forbid, heaven forbid, I've been overstimulated and someone kept pushing me when I said, I need a break. Oh, well, you're going to do this. You get what you get, dude. You push an animal into a corner, you get what you get, okay? And I'm not violent. I hate violence. I hate anything to do with conflict. I will quite literally walk around the block to avoid a conflict with someone. I've done it plenty of times. But I was bullied so bad in school. Things happened to me that should have never happened to someone in school. And I'm not going to get into it, but there was some really violent stuff that happened. So when I'm cornered, I have zero compassion for the person who cornered me. And that is a product of an abusive childhood and an abusive school life. It is what it is, dude. So before you go around judging people and telling them, oh, you need to do it my way, there's more than one right way to do anything. And that too is a fact. And anyone who tells you differently, you really need to question every word that comes out of their mouth. Because when they say my way is the only right way, I'm going to tell you now, they're completely and utterly full of shit, and they're full of themselves. Sorry, it's true. If that triggered some of you guys, great. Go to a cry closet and pet a kitten, because I don't care. It seems like the world wants to talk about how autism and Asperger's is such a horrible thing, and we need to find a cure for it. So what? We're a disease now? We're a disease to be removed, like cancer or AIDS or corona? We're some horrible plague against humanity? Because that's what it feels like. Oh, well, we need to cure Asperger's. I'm more productive than most people if I'm left to do my own thing. Insanely productive. and efficient. I can find something you've been doing for 10 years, and more than likely, I can find a more efficient, smooth, and easy way to do it. Given the time. It's whatever, dude. You know what? Hopefully this, and I know I'm heated about this, and I am. I'm legit a little freaking hot about this because it's been years. And I've tried to explain to people, I've sent people links and info boards and charts and graphs. And this isn't just friends and family. This is people who want to know, you know, what is Asperger's? What is it like? Yada, yada, yada. And yet then they go, oh, well, I know someone with Asperger's who doesn't act that way. Good for you. I know people that are gangbangers and cops. But I don't assume all gangbangers and all cops are the same. Because I'm an intelligent individual who can realize that everyone is different. You want to put people in a mold, a cookie cutter in a box? That ain't gonna work in today's world. It ain't. It don't work. Anyhow, I love you guys. Odin bless. Be safe. And if you've got the coof, you're gonna be alright. I got faith in you. If you don't, look, man, this shit's gonna be over one way or the other. Love y'all.